Once your model is complete, you'll want to make sure that it's centered up in your space. And you will probably see that these numbers are kind of wonky. So what we're going to do is make sure, like I said, it's nice and positioned. You've got the pivot point in the center. If you need to change that, you can go to Modify Center Pivot and then place it so that you're in the center of the grid. Then you are going to, first of all, save an increment. So you can save scene as and add a number, or you can increment and save. But I want you to have a version where you have all your history and everything, so that way we can go back to it if you need. So you'll save and then we'll keep moving forward. We're going to go to freeze transformations. And so that's going to set whatever position your model is at to these default values. And we're going to edit, delete by type history, and any sort of things that you've done to it, which will be in this big old list here and will also show up as tabs, will disappear. So it basically removes all that history from your object. Once you've done that, you're ready to save it again as your final. And we want to export it as well. So I'm going to select my model and export my selection as an OBJ export. Default file is good. And we'll just turn that on, and then it'll ask you where you want to save it, which you'll put it in your project folder. If you don't see the OBJ option, you need to go to your preferences. So Windows, Settings, Preferences, Plugin Manager. And in the Plugin Manager, we're going to turn it on here. So we have to find it. It's down in the list. Where is it? It should be Object Export.mll. You want to make sure that it's loaded and on auto load, and that way it will load up next time you open your software, and then loaded will make sure it loads right now. So if you do not see the OBJ option, make sure that you do that. I also want screenshots. So at least one screenshot, but it's often good to see different sides. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the grid. If you have Windows, you can use Snip and Sketch or the snipping tool, whichever, and it'll bring up, yeah, it wants you to use Snip and Sketch. You just make a new one and you drag over the area and go back into it, and then you just save that to your project folder, and then you can get different angles on it so we can see everything.